I quit meat for 2 weeks, and it's a bit more complicated than that. Here's some context. This is 1-year-old me. Like any other baby, my parents decide what I get to eat, and I have what most would call a balanced diet. But for some reason, at the age of 3, as if the magic wand of destiny had waved, all kinds of fruits and vegetables just vanished from my life. And this is what my food pyramid looks like. Now that I'm 20 and that is still the way I eat, but I'm more than aware of its detriments both to my body and the environment. Humans started eating meat by like 2.6 million years ago. But over the last few decades, as we have more and more dietary options and studies into the pros and cons of each kind of food, it's pretty clear that a meat-based diet like mine really isn't the best for us. A meat-based diet would increase risk for heart disease, diabetes, obesity, and with processed meat being classified as Group 1 carcinogen in 2015, cancer is here to join the band. Being a huge meat consumer also means that I facilitated livestock farming, which was responsible for 18% of human-produced greenhouse gas emission annually and significantly contributed to climate change. And it can also cause erectile dysfunction. With all that being said, I wanted to change my dietary habits for the better. So that's why I'm quitting meat for 14 days. But here's the thing, if I don't eat vegetables and I don't eat meat, what can I eat? To lay out my new meal plans, I consulted my friend Artemis, who is a vegan chef, and went out for the hunt with my mom and sister. My sister really wasn't letting me off the hook with the whole no meat thing. Since I'm extremely averse to consuming vegetables and fruit, I realized that carbs and dairy products are probably my best friend. So that's why whenever I have time to cook lunch, pasta will be my go-to. As for making up for the lost protein, I'll have eggs and milk as my main focus. I'll also try to slip in some of the vegetables that I used to eat into my daily meals. Back when we were doing the shopping, we bought a shit ton of energy bars to make up for the fact that going through this dietary change would probably render my stomach empty for half of the time. At this point, my meal plan is all set and it's just 2 weeks, so how hard can it be? So today marks the start of my no meat week, and it was hard as fuck. It was so hard. Like in the afternoon, I made a pasta with just eggs and garlic. It tastes completely horrible. It has more to do with my cooking rather than the lack of meat. But still, like at night eating out was a nightmare because we couldn't settle on a restaurant with vegetarian options. And in the end, we went to a Japanese place and I had eggs as my main dish as well. I ate like 10 eggs today. So that should be one of the problem. And the other problem is I just felt like I've ate literally nothing today and it's just not as energetic. I kind of did expected this, so I do have a solution. For the next few days, I ended up relying heavily on the energy bars. But it didn't take long for me to realize that it was just a band-aid solution. I couldn't lift as much when I go to the gym, I was less focused at work, and experienced mild mood swings, which are all apparent effects of caloric deficit. And the reason for that is the amount of meat that I was consuming before the dietary change was so immense that no amount of energy bars could have ever made up for the lost calories. And if I was being honest with myself, when I look back towards my progress during the middle of the challenge, all I was doing was just starving myself instead of moving towards a healthier diet. Something needs to change. I need a new plan. I then scoured the internet to look for ways to build a plant-based diet for meat eaters, and I discovered something called umami. Umami is one of the 5 tastes along with sweetness, sourness, bitterness, and saltiness. And it is also the savory taste that makes meat so desirable in the first place. So if I can find plants which provides the same satisfaction, it would be my ideal starting point. So this morning I went out for a new batch of groceries to prepare for my new meal prep. Now, some of the examples of food with rich umami are mushrooms, vegetable broth, toasted nuts and seeds, tomato, and savory spices. Now, I didn't get everything, but I do want to make something out of the vegetables that I have, which is a very basic fried rice with corn, carrot, and mushrooms as the ingredients. And the rice is being cooked with vegetable broth, so the whole thing is very vegetarian. So let's see how that turns out. It tasted way better than my spaghetti. Realizing that it worked, I kept up with the plan and slipped in a bit more variation throughout the week. On top of that, in a very fascinating way, having built momentum for developing new habits, I tried to bring this momentum into different aspects of my life, and it worked surprisingly well. So today is day 10 into the challenge, and to be honest, it was hard, but not as hard as I thought it would be. Like, it really helped me enjoy vegetables a lot more, and in the end it just gave me a lot more mental clarity. Like, eating healthy is not only affecting my body but also my mind. It's like a lot of things, at first I thought it was impossible to do, but in the end when I really tried that out, it's not that hard. So I'm pretty happy with myself for keeping to this commitment. It wasn't long until the whole challenge was done, and thank God it was finished. The challenge itself was of course completed, but it really taught me a lot about building healthy habits. Like, jumping in headfirst into something as big as a dietary change is probably not a good strategy if I were to do this for the long run. The first few days were pure agony and it frustrated the hell out of me. Not gonna lie, if it weren't doing this for the video, I would have probably given up by like day 2 or something. Yeah. So in the end, habits are meant to be built gradually, and that is something that I should keep in mind down the road. As to what I actually learned from attempting the diet itself is the pros of going vegetarian is definitely there and undeniable. And in general, I just felt a lot more healthier and was rid of the nausea that I felt from time to time. But the duration was obviously too short for it to have any substantial effect on my body, but I could really see how changing my current diet could serve me for the better. But something did happen during the course of the challenge that showed me the other side of the story. It was around day 12 where I finished my morning workout and I went onto the scale, and I was shocked to find that I lost like 3 kilograms in just 2 weeks. Now, I don't know how much of it was attributed to the diet itself, but it really tells me that even though this habit change is beneficial to me, there is still work to be done for me to fully incorporate this into my life in a sense that really suits me. Just copying and pasting a way of life might not really work. And the last and the most important thing that I learned from doing the whole thing is just keep trying. Because it's not just about the diet, and making this video is a challenge of itself. It took me more than 2 months to complete each and every step of this video, and I'm so proud that I made it. You have no idea how many takes of this I've gotten already. But yeah, I also procrastinated a lot, and in the end, I didn't give up. And that's all that matters. So that's the end of the video. Go like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment to let me know how I did. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.